Hello everybody. Today I have a special story for us to read. It's called Gorilla Thumps and Bear Hugs, and it's a book about tapping for children. And the author of the book is Alex Ortner. It's a great story about tapping those uncomfortable feelings that sometimes we feel, like feeling sad or angry or upset or nervous or afraid or a little bit unsure. So come and join me, and we're going to read this great story that teaches you about tapping on your magic points on your body so that you can get back to feeling calm and relaxed. So go find a comfortable space, maybe with mum or dad or by yourself. Take a big breath in, a big breath, calming breath in into your stomach, and then out. And let's get ready to go on this adventure, this tapping adventure. See you then. Gorilla Thumps and Bear Hugs. One day during recess, Lucas noticed that his friend Annabelle looked very sad. When he asked her what was wrong, she said, "I was drawing a picture of myself as a scientist, and two kids teased me. They told me that the picture was silly and that I was crazy for wanting to be a scientist. But I think science is so much fun." I want to be an astronaut so I can learn about fun stuff like the billions of stars in space. Or maybe a zoologist, studying all the different animals in the world, where they live, what they do. Or maybe a doctor, learning about all the amazing things in our bodies, like our eyes that see, our ears that hear, our lungs that breathe, and our hearts that breathe. But kids are always teasing me. Maybe I am foolish for wanting to be a scientist. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe that's why I'm so sad, Annabelle said with a sigh. I'm sorry you're sad. I know a secret trick that might help you to feel better, said Lucas. A few weeks ago, I was really sad because I tripped and fell playing soccer. It hurt, and I didn't want to play anymore because I looked silly in front of my friends. So I quit. When my brother Malachi saw how sad I was, he taught me something called the magical tapping technique. And it made me feel much, much better. Want to learn about it? Sure, said Annabelle. He started by telling me that we all have magical points on our bodies where we can touch our energy, and that by tapping on these points while saying magic words, we can change how we feel. It was a really fun way to remember each point. We always start with the karate chop point, Malachi said as he tapped on the outside of his hand. With this point, I like to think about doing karate and breaking on boards. So that is where it is, on the side of your hand. And what you do is you tap. Next is the eyebrow point. I call this the hairy eyebrow point. When I tap here, I pretend that I have eyebrows so big that birds can land on them and sing songs to make me feel better. And that's this point here. Then there's the side of the eye point, which I call the super eagle eye point. When I tap here, I pretend I have super eagle eyes that let me look at things in a different way. So that one, we tap on the side of our eyes, eagle eye point. Next is the under eye point. I call this the lion cry point. This helps me remember that even if you're as strong as the lion, it's always okay to cry and left bad feelings and leave all the bad feelings out. A lot of times crying makes you feel better. Does it make you feel better after you have a good cry? So the lion cry point is under your eyes. You can do it with one hand, or you can do both at the same time using both hands. Then there's the under the nose point, the dragon fire point. When I tap here, I pretend I'm a dragon setting fire to my bad feelings as I breathe them out of my nose. I can feel the bad feelings living through the hot fire on my hands as I tap. So this one is under your nose. Can you tap under your nose? Pretend that you are a fire-breathing dragon, getting rid of all those feelings that don't feel very well. Next is the chin point. I call this the wolf's chin point because when I tap here, I think about a wolf howling away the bad feelings. Ow! Can you tap on the wolf point and howl all those feelings that don't feel very good away? Next one is the collarbone, can't even say that, collarbone point, which I think of as the gorilla thump point. When I tap here, it's like I am a big, proud gorilla beating on my chest. So that's this point here, under your collarbone. And you can either do it with your hand or you can do it with your fingers. Next is the underarm point. I call this the bear hug point because when I tap here, I think about giving myself lots of love with a big bear hug. And that is under your arm. So you tap underneath your arm and you give yourself a big bear hug. Oh, this is a cheeky one. And the last one is the top of the head point. And I call this the monkey point. When I tap on this point, I like to pretend I'm a monkey. Sometimes I even make monkey sounds. And that's the one on the top of your head. Can you tap on the point of your head Pretend you're a monkey. Malachi showed me how to tap on each magical point on my body with my fingers while saying the magical words. At first, I felt a little bit silly, and I even giggled, thinking about the funny names for each point. But once I started doing it, I didn't mind because it made me feel so much better. That sounds like it could help, but what are the magical words? Annabelle asked. They're actually called magical tapping phrases, said Lucas. You say them when you're tapping on the magical energy points. Basically, you just say out loud how you're feeling, and this helps the feeling change. Can we try it? Said Annabelle. Sure. Just repeat after me and tap where I tap, answered Lucas. And there's all these words that you could say. If you're feeling nervous, you can tap and say, I feel nervous. I feel nervous. Or if you're angry, you could tap on, I'm feeling so angry. I'm feeling angry. And you could say why you're feeling angry. Or if you are fearful, you can tap about fear and feeling fearful about something. Or embarrassed, if you're feeling embarrassed. You could also say how you're feeling while you're tapping on the magic energy points. First, tap on the karate chop point. And say, even though I feel sad because some kids teased me about my picture, I love myself anyway. Annabelle did just what he said. Keep tapping and say this 2 times. Even though I feel so sad because some kids teased me, I'm a good kid anyway. Annabelle repeated what Lucas said. She did it 2 times. Great, said Lucas. Now let's go to the hairy eyebrow point and say, I feel sad because the kids teased me. Can you remember which one's the hairy eyebrow? And she repeated, I feel sad because the kids teased me. Lucas and Annabelle continued to tap on each point, saying the magical tapping phrases. And soon Annabelle got the hang of it and started tapping on her own. How do you feel? He asked. Wow, I feel a lot better, she said. This is magic, real magic. And you know what? I had a great idea. When we were tapping, Annabelle got up and said, I have to go ask the teacher about my idea. When Annabelle finished tapping through all the points, Lucas told her to take a big breath in and out. After recess, the teacher asked all the kids to draw pictures of what they wanted to be when they grew up. They all had different ideas, like being a police officer, or a teacher, or a firefighter, or an artist, or an astronaut, or a professional soccer player. When they were done, each kid got to show his or her picture, share his or her picture with the class, and tell why they chose that job. Everyone had an amazing time, and Annabelle was no longer alone. The next day, Annabelle came up to Lucas and said, Thank you for showing me the magical tapping technique. It made me feel so much better and even helped me have the idea for us all to draw our dreams. You're welcome, Lucas said. I'm glad you liked it. Malachi and I are starting a tapping club to teach other kids how to tap. Do you want to help? I'd love to, said Annabelle with a big grin. And they're going to start a tapping club so that other children also learn about tapping on the magical points. I wonder if you remember the names of some of those tapping points. I hope that this helps for you to look after yourself when you're having those feelings in your body that don't feel very well. All right. Thanks for listening to this story with me. Have a great day. Bye.